is while Lori is in class, and she's hearing a lecture or whatever, and she looks out the window, and he's standing behind the station wagon.
Yeah.
He already has the mask on. Mm-hmm. And later on in the film, when she's driving to the babysitting gig with Annie, and they're smoking pot and all that shit, they encounter Annie's dad, Sheriff Brackett. Mm-hmm. And, the drugstore had just been broken into, and he's like, all they took was some ropes, some knives, some masks. So, I mean, that had already happened way earlier, but I just...
Yeah, see, I always assumed that it happened and the cops didn't show up right away, and they come in during the investigation.
But that would have been I don't know, at least an hour later or something.
Yeah, but I mean, you know how
it's a
slow
small
cops
town.
But you know how slow cops are to respond to shit?
I don't know. I've always viewed it as kind of a glaring continuity error or something.
See, I never thought that at all. I just assumed that that's what happens.
Yeah, I never thought about it.
Yeah, he's clearly wearing the mask in both that scene and the scene where he follows, Tommy or whatever his name is? The little boy.
I don't know what his name is.
Yeah.
The kid that Laurie's babysitting.
I just fucking watched it, too.
Yeah, I think it is Tommy.
Tommy Doyle.
Yep.
Yeah, he's clearly also wearing the mask in that scene, too, because when he, startles the bully kid, the camera pans up just high enough to show that much of it. It's funny that they hired an actor to play the face of Michael when he takes the mask off for that split second.
Yeah.
Why not just use Dick Warlock? Is he?
I know, because he completely gets overshadowed after that, by the other guy.
There's 3 or 4 people that played Michael Myers in that film. One was the female writer of the movie.
Oh yeah, Deborah Hill.
Yeah,
the scene with the hands picking up the little
fingernail
mask.
I guess they're in the trivia is you could tell it's a female because they're her fingernails are perfect and shit or something. I don't know. I'm gonna edit that out, but I read that. It's so stupid.
So Ken, what's your number 15?
All right, you were just talking about slashers. The beginning of slashers. Mine is Black Christmas, 1974.
Nice.
Which I'm not going to say...
Oh. Filthy cunt.
Yeah, and then we covered it, and it was the first time you ever got to, see it ever.
Yeah, and I watched it, again right after that, and I put it on my list because I loved it that much.
Yeah, Black Christmas rules. It's really good.
You put it at, in your 50s
it
or
was
something.
number 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think mine was a little higher than that.
It's a little low.
It is a little low.
Is there any Christmas movies on your list above it?
No.
Okay. All right, you can at least...
Well, yes.
Oh.
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah,
which is my number one Christmas film anyway. So,
all right, we've covered this before. It was on our Christmas episode. We did two Christmas episodes in one sitting, and by the end, I was just totally fucking trashed.
Right.
That's the only thing I can remember about them. I should go back and listen to this.
I forgot we did do 2 episodes back to back that night.
Yeah, dude, I was so fucked up when we did.
Was Black Christmas one of the movies?
No, that was the third one. When we went recorded at my place.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're right. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, Black Christmas, Bob Clark.
The only good Christmas movie he did.
No.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't get the Christmas story thing with you. It's stupid.
Fucking hate it.
I don't know why.
Now who's being contrarian?
I've always hated it.
Probably because it came around Christmas time and then but it just reminds you of how shitty your Christmases were because it was always on TV during Christmas.
Now, my Christmases are always awesome.
Yeah, whatever. You're easy to please, I'm sure.
I am.
Some fucking Play-Doh, you'd be like, ooh. All right,
all my wife has to do is touch my dick and I'm excited.
I give this Play-Doh a 9.75 out of
10. My number 15 is the last Fulci on my list, City of the Living Dead.
That's your favorite one, huh?
Yep. I watched it for the first time when Randy was doing it for the podcast, and I watched it again after I bought it, and I fucking love it.
The worst ending for a Fulci movie.
I just like it because it's ambiguous.
It's not even. It just doesn't even make sense.
I'm going to talk about that in a minute.
If they're going to fucking panic and shit, at least show something before your credits roll. We don't even know what the fuck.
That's what I like about it. It's just that you don't know what they're seeing. It's just enough to freak you out.
I don't even think that was intentional. I just think he filmed it. He's like, I'm just going to cut it like this. Fuck it.
Nah, I like the way it ends like that.
We covered this also before.
This I can't remember. Is this one before the Beyond? Or is this after the Beyond?
Beyond is 81. This is
80.
80, yeah.
Okay, so this is the first of the Gates of Hell trilogy. Yep, I really fucking enjoy this film a lot. The effects are amazing. The score is amazing.
I love that it's a little bit Lovecraftian.
There's a lot. It's on my list. There's a lot to like about it. It's just
The soul that pines for eternity shall outspan death. You dweller of the twilight void, come Dunwich. That's a cool quote.
It is.
That's even better than and you will face the sea of darkness and all therein that can be explored.
Randy.
Yeah, and I was saying then the whole beginning, what opens the gates of hell with the priest hanging himself is just an epic instant start of the film.
Those opening credits. So my number 14 is City of the Living Dead. And those opening credits are just fucking great. Like, first of all, some of Goblin, or not, well, they use some of the Goblin score from Dawn of the Dead. But it also has a lot of Freezy's best work too. Freezy is every bit as good as Goblin. The puke up your guts scene.
Yep.
Fucking amazing. The let's put a drill bit through Giovanni Lombardo
John Morgan's head.
Giovanni Lombardo Radici. Fuck. All the let's rip your brains out through the back of your head. Like, I wish I could do that. Just grab the
raining maggot scene.
Yeah, that's.
I think that's the thing with Fulci films, though. It's like 3 to 4 like fucking scenes where it's like iconic almost. Like I can't like the Beyond has it. The fucking zombie has it.
New York Ripper.
Yeah, it's just like
the show-stopping gore scenes.
Yeah. Other than that, like there's really no fucking logic ever in his movies, except for Zombie. That's why that's my favorite.
Well, I mean, this has a very clear story. It's
just it gets ridiculous, and
I love the the intro with the seance and like how she's psychically linked to Dunwich and how it like puts her in a state of catalepsy and like it touches on themes from Poe and from Lovecraft with like the whole she's being buried alive thing and the town that's losing to evil theme of Lovecraft. The zombies are probably the coolest looking Fulci zombies.
The zombies in Zombie were fucking his best zombies. I thought
they're good. I'll give you that. They're really good.
I think they use like mortician's wax or something for the effects on a lot of those. I'm not really sure. They look pretty cool, though.
I mean, I just watched both these movies within the last year, so I like every time I watch Zombie, I think it's like in the top 5 best zombie effects. I didn't think that about City of the Living Dead.
Really, the only complaint I have about City of the Living Dead is Christopher
the ending.
George. The ending's fine. I don't mind the ending. It's, I mean, they were too late. They didn't destroy Father Thomas before All Souls Day. They were too late to close the gates.
Yep, the gates of hell opened.
They killed all of the zombies that were there that already existed, but they were climbing out of the crypt, and that kid thought he was like running to safety, and then the whole
So you just imagine that like.
Well, in the ending, I imagine the ground giving way and hell taking over Dunwich.
I just think they should have showed something. It didn't have to be that spectacular of effects or anything like that. But.
They could have probably done something pretty cool with stop motion or something.
Yeah, but I still like the whole just you putting it to your imagination.
Go, Scott.
All right. My number 14 is From Beyond. Another H.P. Lovecraft story, and we did this one on the podcast a while back, so you can go back and listen to that episode. But
yep.
I'll be speaking about this one.
Me too.
Shortly.
But yeah, amazing performances from Barbara Crampton and Jeffrey Combs, and I mean you gotta love Ken. Yeah, it's like Ken Foree, and you gotta love him in the Speedo.
I can't remember the name of the actor that plays Pretorius, but
he's fucking amazing in that.
That guy is creepy as fuck.
Yeah, and the effects just holy shit.
Yeah, they assembled a really great team between like John Carl Buechler and Screaming Mad George, and there were a couple other people involved. Maybe Bob Keane. There were at least 2 other effects artists involved, I think.
And this, I believe, inspired Slither as one of the.
It was one of the inspirations for Slither. But I'll be speaking about that more later.
For real? Holy shit!
Well, From Beyond.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Slither.
No, I don't. Slither was one of the movies that I had to cut to make my top 100.
Yeah, I loved it.
It is really great. It's a really fun ode to like Night of the Creeps and From Beyond.
Yeah, right in that room. I have it on HD DVD.
Yep, and I got the Scream Factory Blu-ray of it now.
So my number 13 is Reanimator.
I can love it.
Stuart Gordon adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's story. We've already talked about it a couple of times. Didn't you mention it already tonight?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't.
Cat dead, details later.
Yeah, I struggle with just lumping it in as a zombie film. A lot
I
of
almost
people,
call this more like a mad scientist film.
yeah, it's a mad scientist film. It's a zombie film. It's supernatural horror. It's sci-fi horror. There's a little bit of comedy involved, but the casting is perfect. Jeffrey Combs is pretty much the best horror actor from like the mid 80s through the early 90s, maybe.
Yeah.
Even like his little bit parts in stuff like Edmund, and his characters are always a little bit different than they're
like variations of each other, but
yeah,
they
share a
different.
quality of like being over the top in one way or another, like especially in a psychological sense. But as much as I love Herbert West, I do love Crawford Tillinghast maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, me too.
But Herbert West is the definition of like a sociopath. Just no remorse, no guilt, just very focused and single-minded on his task and his goal, which
never stops along the way for fun ever,
and just doesn't care who he has to manipulate.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, doesn't care about anybody else.
He
but
uses
himself.
Dan Cain. He plays Dan Cain like a fucking fiddle.
Yeah.
It's and all through the franchise, really. The gore is
great,
fantastic, really really great gore. A lot of over the top sexuality. The severed head cunnilingus implication is it was enough to be referenced in fucking what is it, American Beauty, I think, where they talk about it a bit.
Oh, I think so.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's there. I don't know. There's a scene in American Beauty where Kevin Spacey and some kid are talking about it during a drug deal. All of the casting, even I can never remember the actor's name that plays Carl Hill.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about too.
The guy from like Sinjanor and stuff. He's I mistake him for the guy in Creepshow a lot. The guy from the Crate segment that plays the creepy.
Yeah, you mentioned that before.
Yeah. I feel like he was kind of underutilized in horror. He could have done a lot more for sure.
All right, well, I'm next then, so I just closed my list by accident. Hellraiser, 1987.
David Gale,
yeah. And actually, the character that plays Dean Halsey maybe gives like the craziest and best performance in the movie when you think about it, because he's like so calm and subdued as Dean Halsey, except in like the scene where he's expelling Herbert West and reprimanding Dan Cain, where he gets a little bit rough or whatever, but then after he's reanimated, he's just like fucking bonkers, like headbutting shit, and yeah, his performance is
great.
Yeah, it's
a lot of fun,
and it goes unmentioned a lot. Like everybody talks about Jeffrey Combs and Gale and everybody else, but nobody really ever mentions how great of a job he does. So,
Hellraiser, yeah. What number is this? 13?
Yep.
Hellraiser.
Fitting for Hellraiser.
Okay.
We have such sights to show
It's fitting for Friday the 13th.
Yeah, very
It's
true.
like fitting for any horror film.
Yeah, I guess so. So Hellraiser is the most unlucky film in my list. I mean, you just touched on it, and that's another...
And I'm going to talk about it.
Clive Barker, I think it's his... I mean, I love Nightbreed too, but obviously it's way down on my list. But
no, it's the best Clive Barker film.
Yeah, there's really fucking
3.
He's directed 4 of them, maybe.
Yeah,
Not very many.
Yeah, he did Lord of Illusions, and Candyman was not him. Hellraiser, Nightbreed, Lord of Illusions.
Yeah.
And he did some short films like.
And we talked about Rawhead Rex. Like that's the reason why he
adapted the screenplay for Rawhead, and it got fucked up.
Yeah, so he's like, "Fuck this! I'm doing it next time." So, and that's what you get is Hellraiser, and it's my number 13. And go ahead, Scott.
Return of the Living Dead.
Do you want a party?
I was just gonna say, do you want a party?
You was gonna say it.
I was gonna say it,
but you still
but
said
Randy
it.
fucking stole it from me.
Stole it.
You still said it.
Stole
But
it.
yeah,
You think this is a fucking costume?
This is a way of life. This is just one of the best zombie comedy out there. Like, the effects are just really fun. So, like, I think you even touched on it back on the episode, but the zombie effects, and some of them are not great.
No, the featured zombies are great.
Yeah, but the featured zombies
when
are
they're
fucking
fucking
awesome.
in a pack running towards the.
It looks like they just have mud on them.
I mean, you can tell it's like there's no little to no fucking effects on.
My
them.
chief complaint about this film is that there's no real gore.
Yeah, surprisingly, there's some like the only real gore is like the up close bite by Tarman.
Bite on the head to the pedophile. What the fucking guy?
Suicide?
No.
Why is he a pedophile?
Oh no, I'm talking about the fucking one when they bring the half corpse in when she fucking.
Oh
yeah, that guy too. Yep,
yeah, that guy is a pedophile.